corporation is like a business that's almost like a person. It has its own identity, own ID numbers. The government looks at it as a separate entity. You see all these folk up here? So it can be one person, but it can be a whole lot of people, depending on, you know, how many owners and shareholders and how it's organized and all. So you have different types of corporations. So you have a C Corp, and this is called, and most large publicly traded companies are C corporations. So again, they're totally, this company is like its own, like a separate individual, like a separate person. Okay, and then the business owners are referred to as stockholders and shareholders. You can do all kinds of things with C corporations. And most small businesses are not C corps. And the taxation for a C corp is you have to file a form 1120 or 1120A, which is a shorter version. Okay, so the due date for this is April the 15th. All right, and this is not a pass-through. A C Corp is not a pass-through, so it's its own separate entity. The profit and losses stay with the corporations. There could be this thing called double taxation. So the taxation is on the corporate level, and it can be on the owner's level as well if there's certain distributions such as dividends. So the owners would get taxed. So the corporation would get taxed, and the owners would get taxed on distributions. There could be other distributions too. Okay, there's another type of corporation called a subchapter S Corp. And what you may hear called an S Corp. Okay, this is what most small businesses would utilize. Okay, it has all the protections of a C Corp. However, it is a pass-through, and up to 100 people can be shareholders in an S Corp. Okay, the taxation for this is, it's a pass-through. Okay, you have to file an 1120S, which is for S Corp. And it also has, you know, K1s like the 1065. But you have to go an extra step. You have to file this form called the 2553. You have to ask the IRS, you have to ask them for permission to be an S Corp. So if you don't do this, then you're a regular, you default to a C Corp if you don't do the 2553. And this is due on March the 15th. And we're going to this LLC, Limited Liability Company. This is a hybrid. This is a hybrid entity. It has features of a partnership and a corporation. So this is probably the most commonly used business formation, especially for small businesses at the present time, is an LLC. So probably every other person you run into, 60–70% of the folk you run into a small business, you'll hear them say LLC. All right, so you have to register with the, corporations have to register with the state, and also the LLCs have to register with the State Corporation Commission as well. So you can, in Virginia, you can be a single member LLC. Again, it has features of a partnership, which is 2 or more, right? Remember that? Okay, but also has features of a corporation, certain protections, depending on how you do it, certain taxation. But you can be a one-person LLC. That is allowed in Virginia. Okay, the taxation, it is a pass-through. So the owner or owners are will show the profits and the losses on their individual return eventually. In Virginia, you can be a sole member LLC. Okay, you will file a Schedule C like you're a sole proprietor if you're a one-person LLC, unless you do. See, Latif, thank you. Okay, so unless you do what Nicole asked about the 2553 and some other things too to go with that. So you can be taxed as a partnership or a corporation. And that's where the analytical part comes in. Which way do you want to go? Which is most beneficial? Your due date can be March or April the 15th, depending on which way you go. Depending on which way you go, and depending on what is most beneficial.